I'm recording. Oh. Hello! Brandon is here because he just got a new camera, and I am not buying this camera. At least I'm pretty sure, not for a good while, even if I decide I really want it. But what did you get, Brandon?
R7.
The Canon EOS R7. It is Canon's first Aps-C RF mount camera. And it closes the shutter when it's not in use. That's great. Just like my EF camera and the R5, R3. I don't think the R10 that just came out does.
No, it doesn't.
That's like, just do it. Just protect your sensor. I guess it's easy to damage the shutter, but whatever. You also got the kit lens, but the big one, the 18 to 150.
Yeah, that's all the local camera store had.
That's amazing. So you actually went in person to Horn Photo.
Yeah.
And they had it. That's amazing. You also picked up a couple other lenses. What else did you get here?
Well, I thought it'd be handy to have something fast, so I got the 50mm because it was $20 off on sale.
Got the nifty 50.
Yeah, so $170. And then this is the reason why I got this body.
You really wanted you wanted to come back to Canon.
Well, I don't know.
Lured back.
I don't know if that's the case. I really liked how fast the autofocusing was on this. It's a lot faster than the Z50.
It's basically the R3's focusing
and so
system.
that was really impressive. But what also was exciting was the 100 to 400 and how small it is.
It's also surprisingly light.
Yeah.
That is.
It feels very, very similar to my 70 to 300 that I had for Nikon F mount.
Yeah.
But then it's about the same size and length because it's a little bit longer than the 70 to 30, but I had to have the FTZ adapter.
Yeah.
But I also had the 200 to 500, except I hardly ever wanted to take that out because that thing was so big and so heavy. So
that thing was massive.
Losing a little bit of length.
So you sold your 70 to 300?
Sold the 70 to 300, the 200 to 500, the FTZ adapter, and my 35mm with the Z50.
And the Z50.
Yeah.
This is very cool. Now, maybe after you play with this lens some more, we'll revisit this lens.
Yeah.
But I'm really curious, what do you think of the R7? You've had it for about a week now. You let me play with it a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, you might have
the 4th of
taken
July.
more shots on it than I have.
I did a lot of video, but I want to
definitely more video then.
From a photo perspective, what do you like about this camera?
I've gotten some Willow shots on it because she's always
got your doggo.
Yeah, a good subject to photograph. But what was really cool was it, unlike the Nikon that has human eye detect, unless it glitches, this has animal eye detect. So at -3 EV, I was able to get dark. Willow's eye, and Willow's got a darker face with dark eyes, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the dials are nice. I thought that this was going to be a little weird, but it's in a nice place. Instead of going left to right, I'm just going up and down.
Yeah, so on my EOS R, I had the shutter wheel, the index finger wheel, and then the thumb, it was side to side. Mm-hmm. I like that. The touch bar didn't bother me. I use it for when I'm doing video. I use it to control my sound. And honestly, this wheel's in the same spot, and it feels right. It's just around instead of side to side, like Brandon said. I really didn't mind it. And because I don't have a thumb wheel down here on the EOS R, it felt pretty natural. Back when I had a 5D and I would have to use the aperture on the thumb wheel down here, it's fine. But it makes sense that this is where my thumb naturally rests, and that's where the control is, rather than having to move my thumb down to get at it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where they're going to put the dial next. Is it going to be up here or down here?
Yeah, it depends on the feedback, because obviously people were outspoken about not liking the touch bar, and the touch bar never came back. The R3 does have that little nub that's kind of like a joystick.
On the joystick, but it's
a button. It's a button, but it's an optical joystick, and you can swipe up, down, left, right, and it reads it. So, and people don't seem to be complaining about that. But that's also a $6,000 camera that I think less people are buying.
Yeah. This ended up being like $2,000 after tax. After tax for the lens and the body, but I sold all this Nikon stuff that I mentioned for $2,300 to MPB. So
All right. Yeah. MPB, sponsor the channel because we keep selling you our stuff. Like I said, I used the camera in video mode yesterday quite a bit with this lens and with my 70-200 attached. I should have played with this lens. But I wanted to put my lens on it and see how it was working with the adapter. It performed admirably. I was even joking with Lauren, like, I kind of want to get one of these. She's like, you've already got this and you got the other one on the way. I'm like, all right. But I think this is like the perfect vlog cam. I put this lens on it, my ultra wide, the 10-18.
Oh, were you vlogging with it?
Just a little bit, just a tiny little bit. But I mostly use the camera in 4K 60p doing slow motion. I'll play some clips over this. And that worked really, really well. I tried it in both the full frame, I guess the APS-C frame, and then also does the 4K center crop. And supposedly the center crop is a little bit sharper. I couldn't tell a huge difference just looking at the clips on my MacBook screen. But what I did notice is, especially when I was on a long lens, when I was all the way on 200 on my telephoto lens, it would get a little jello-y in both the crop mode and the full sensor mode. The full sensor mode is a line skipped mode. That's why it's not as sharp as the cropped mode. But like I said, it was still very, very sharp. But it was very cool. My favorite thing on the 4th of July is like when the kids are playing with sparklers and twirling them around and getting some slow motion of that. And I think that turned out really nice. I'll be playing some clips right now, so you can assess for yourself and leave a comment. But yeah, I want to know if this camera, because it does do C-Log 3 and Cinema Gamut, if it would pair well with the C70 or the R5C, which should be here later this week or early next week. The other thing I'd really like to do is put this lens, this 18-150, on the C70 because it is a Super 35 sensor. So I think that's going to be the next 2 videos. We're going to do a comparison between the R7 and the C70, filming both in C-Log 3, and then we'll do a and then we'll pop this lens on the C70 and see how well it performs. So if you are interested in more, definitely hit the subscribe button. We'll be doing more R7 videos and then very shortly the R5C. And if you have any questions about any of these cameras, the C70, the R7, the R5C, drop them in the comments. We'll answer them in another video. And otherwise, we will see you next time. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Brandon.
Peace. Shoo.